Hello, everybody. My name is Brian.
And my name is Michael.
And today, we have a very special treat for you.
We have a holiday special for you.
A holiday special. We usually check it twice, but what we did today is we checked it twice. You might be thinking, well, is he stuttering? No. I do stutter, but that wasn't an example of it. There are 4 Prep and Landing entries. 4 entries in the Prep and Landing franchise. And there are 2 of us. So collectively, that was 8 checks. I believe that count is correct. So, we watched them all together. We had a big Prep and Landing marathon. This is Prep and Landing night. We've been looking forward to this. And it's time to talk Prep and Landing, the complete saga. As of now, there are no other films in the series. Apparently, there is one that has been announced, but, well, I don't know if it was officially announced. They plan to do it. It has still not yet happened. But we do have the closest thing to that. And I'll leave that. I did the research on this. I'll leave that as a surprise for the end, to keep you sticking around, you know? Okay.
Oh, I know.
So, Michael, you have a fun experience with Prep and Landing, so I want you to talk about that.
So, back in, 2009, when the first episode, or special aired, I liked it a lot. I was like, oh, it's like Christmas, it's like a 3D animated special, it's like a little short movie. It's like a short movie. And I loved it so much, and I wanted to watch it again and again, and my family was just about to travel for the holidays. And I was like, I wish that there was some way that I can watch this special, even when I was not at the computer. So I got my camcorder, my little flip video camcorder, and recorded Prep and Landing.
Aww.
And I think it was like 10-minute increments, because my camera could only record like that long at a time, or something close to that. So I sat it in front of the computer, played the special, and had it on my camera. So not to sound like a boomer or anything, but that's how I had to do it in my day. I didn't have a phone.
Michael, you were just like the little kid in the first special. You got a camera and you wanted to record those elves.
Yep. And then they got deleted.
So, I, too, shared a certain level of excitement for this when it came out, I remember, because I was all over Pixar message boards and stuff. And this isn't, let's be very clear, it's not Pixar, but it feels very much that it was in the vein of that model of Disney feature animations, like, approach in terms of sort of going for the Pixar formula, and that you have magical realism of like this hidden world and how it interacts with humans, and how also the magical realistic aspect is in a workplace setting. So in a sense, I guess it's sort of the Toy Story thing, and then you'll see Disney also do this with Wreck-It Ralph and whatnot.
Monsters Incorporated.
Yeah, Monsters Incorporated, another great example. It's that kind of vibe, so to speak, but it is from Walt Disney Animation Studios. I remember being really excited because I was like, wow, this looks like, this is a full, seemingly big budget thing.
Yep.
Like it's theatrical quality looking CG animation. You have Michael Giacchino doing the music. Carol of the Bells, he works it in. It's used really well in this first special. And, I was like, oh, this will be really cool. And what I will say is that this special was released on a very interesting day. There's a reason why we're covering it right after our Phineas and Ferb Christmas Vacation episode. Because it first aired on December 8th, 2009 on ABC, which is the day after Phineas and Ferb Christmas Vacation premiered. Which is really weird that Disney had 2 Christmas specials the same year on back-to-back days that both feature a pair of elves, one of which has kind of lost a sense of the magic a little bit over the years. They're a little older and more cynical. and the other is more youthful and hopeful. Obviously, in Phineas and Ferb, they're not as much the focus, but here they are front and center, Michael. In fact, the title, lest we forget, it's Lanny and Wayne, the Christmas Elves, in Prep and Landing. Like, they're introducing them, like, this is their first appearance. It's like when you watch The Parent Trap, and in the credits, it's like, introducing Lindsay Lohan, the big star. You know, you will know this name. It'll be a household name. So, you look up Prep and Landing now on Disney+. If you type in Prep and Landing, and when I say and landing, I don't mean ampersand. I mean type AND. It's so weird what happens when you do this. Wouldn't you agree, Michael?
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's so weird. In the sense that...
Try it yourself.
When you do this, what shows up, the only thing that shows up, is the show So Weird. There's a show called So Weird. I don't know why typing Prep and Landing brings this up. Maybe in the future they fix this, but I swear to you, I promise you, on my life, that you can't get to Prep and Landing if you just type in Prep A-N-D Landing. But anyway, enough preamble. I didn't really like this.
I was so, like, going into it, I knew that you had, like, negative feelings about it. And I was like, I remember liking it as a kid. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to watch the new stuff that I haven't seen. Yeah. And as we started watching it, and as it went on, I was like, okay, I get it now. I get why you had these feelings towards it. I, like, vaguely remembered certain scenes. Like, I remembered certain lines. But overall, it was, like, a forgettable experience. I didn't remember, like, the ending. I mean, honestly, I just didn't remember much of it. I'm having a difficult time, like, trying to recall it now. Like, I remember the ending where they, like, shine the giant light to get Santa down. That's about it.
Don't worry, Michael. I took copious notes because I knew I also would be bound to instantly forget, as if my mind was erased by one of Santa's elves, which is not something that's done in this special. It probably would have been useful.
As if my mind was a nut, and then we used a nutcracker to just crack it up, you know?
We have a lot of fun reviewing all of these Christmas specials. Listen. In the immortal words of Phineas Flynn in the opening theme of Phineas and Ferb Christmas Vacation, well, they can't all be fun. And yeah, this one, it's trying. Here's the thing. Okay, because I remember feeling like I had vague recollections of this, because I had seen basically everything. The spoiler alert, one of these barely even counts, but we'll get there. And I kind of had foggy memory, and it was all, like, neutral, maybe a little negative, but I couldn't really remember enough to be sure. But you watch this, and it's just, especially the first special, I think the problem is that it is very rushed. That's the first problem that I would say. It seems to not know exactly what kind of story that it wants to tell. I know what story that it's going for, obviously. Again, it's furthering in the Pixar influence, because it's doing that approach of, we have our main character who is a little bit disgruntled, because now they've been around the block a few times, they've been doing this a while, and now there's a new arrival, and it's not like... I'm not going to say that it's doing the Toy Story thing, because it's not, but because it's not like, it's a new arrival that's replacing him. It's more as a new partner to work with. Arguably, it's more similar to Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, The Adventure Begins, not to be confused with Lightyear, which was just announced. That's a little footnote. But anyway.
Wow, you really dated this podcast.
Well, listen, it's a moment in time. Michael, we're talking about Prep and Landing. This is predated. It's dated on arrival. Anywho, yeah, so here's the thing. They're going for, like, alright, it's this guy who, it's a character, a thing about Woody. I bring up Woody from Toy Story for a very specific reason. It's a character that very easily could have not been likable, because he's the favorite, he's had a good life from Andy, And then things start changing, and he feels dissatisfied with that change. And he arguably, like, you could say, like acts kind of like a jerk in the first movie, but you love him. You love him. Tom Hanks' performance and the way he's written, it's very sympathetic, and he also has concerns about, like, becoming obsolete that only grow over the course of the other films. And in this special, you got our good friend Wayne. And Wayne is out here. He's being an elf. He's been an elf for a long time. And here's the thing about elves in the Prep and Landing world. They're not your grandpa's elves. These elves are cool. Like, this special starts up, there's a classic Christmas song, and it's doing establishing shots, and we go into the house, and then that classic Christmas song stops. Because these elves are cool, play that secret agent music. They're like little spies. They're cool. And it's a unique unit of elves. That's what Prep and Landing is. It's a unique unit of elves getting things ready for the big guy. The big guy being Santa Claus himself, whom we never actually see the face of, which, yeah, that's cool. It's definitely, this isn't the only thing that's done that, but it's done effectively enough here. But Larry, no, not Larry, sorry. Wayne. The other one's not even Larry, it's Lanny. Whatever. Wayne, listen. Wayne over here, he's losing the spirit. He's losing the spirit over the years. Because here's the real problem. He wanted a promotion. He really wanted a promotion. He's looking forward to getting promoted. You know how long he's been working with Prep and Landing? 227 years, Michael! 227 years.
227? It's a lot of years.
And guess what?
What?
He thinks he's going to get promoted. He goes into the office of McGee, who, by the way, is my favorite character. And we'll get into a little revelation about her later, but she's my favorite character. Criminally underused, doesn't do a whole ton, but she's running things. And Wayne sits down in her office and discovers that he is not getting promoted. In fact, it is his former partner that Wayne had trained, Peterson, that gets the promotion. Peterson. Oh my goodness. And now he has a new rookie to train, and that's enter Lanny. Well, Lanny attempts to enter. He has a little trouble entering. It's very comical. We cut to commercial, and then we extend the sequence even a little bit longer. But good old Wayne and Lanny finally get together. And now you have the iconic duo as teased in those opening titles. Here's the problem. I don't care. I don't care about your promotion you didn't get, Wayne, because this special doesn't really establish it in such a way to make me care. In Toy Story, I know, look, it's really unfair to compare this to Toy Story, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You establish, okay, you have that whole scene in the beginning. It doesn't just show, here's the gimmick, the toys are alive. No. The beginning of Toy Story makes it very clear. Hey, Woody and Andy, they're best friends, right? And you care about that friendship. It's nice. And they take the time to earn that. Here, the beginning of this is all about the gimmick. It's all about, hey, it's the elves, they're like spies, isn't that cool? Wayne does like voiceover, but we should be showing, like, you can do showing them as spies. I need to see Wayne, like, show a flashback of him on his first day, like, all, like, excited to get started, maybe show, like, over the years, like, how much work he puts in, do, like, a montage, I don't know, really make him likable, show how he's a go-getter or something, really trying hard, and then he doesn't get the promotion. Something, because it's not, I don't see what he did to earn this. Like, there are, how many elves and how many people are working so hard in Santa's workshop? It's not even really clear exactly. I mean, like, how many, like, elves are on the Prep and Landing team? There must be so many. What is Wayne doing to really earn a promotion other than pure seniority, which is not enough reason to be promoted? So I don't get it. And he doesn't have any personal relationship with Santa. It's not like Santa slighted him in some way. It wasn't any promise that wasn't kept. I mean, how did you feel about this? Did you care about Wayne's struggle?
No.
No.
Like, no, we didn't even, like, get to see his partner at all. So, like, it just kind of felt like, how do we write him being sad? Well, it's like an office. Yeah. What do people in offices want? They want promotions.
Right.
Okay, that's good. That's good. He won't get the promotion. He'll be sad.
That's another thing. Thank you for reminding me of this, Michael. It's an office-y thing. Another thing that makes Pixar stuff work really well, especially like in the example of Toy Story or in the example of Monsters, Inc. Like, it is their job, but it's not, like, literally an office. It's, hey, we're gonna, like, the job is to being played with by the kids, or the job is scaring the kids, depending on the film. Please don't get them confused. It'll really result in a disaster.
So, was Prep and Landing before or after they learned that making kids laugh got them energy?
Who knows? Who knows where it is in the timeline? They don't make it clear.
It scared me.
But in Prep and Landing, it literally just is, it's an office. So I feel like when a kid watches Toy Story or Monsters, Inc., they don't feel alienated at all. It's a concept that then they can relate to, but it's a concept that works on two levels. It's like, oh, an adult could be like, it's like work. But a kid could be like, oh, yeah, toys. Or, oh, yeah, monsters. Got it. And they're doing the things that they're meant to do. And not to say the elves aren't doing what they're meant to do. They're helping Santa, but they really push the angle of it's an office. And it's getting a promotion and, a business and the...
He likes his car parking spot.
Yeah, that whole attitude about it. Which always, it always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, honestly. It felt a little bit too just, hey, look at us. We're adults. I don't know. I feel bad for being so negative. But that's what happens when I don't like something. So anywho, yes. Peterson is the partner that, we never see him in this, and spoilers, we never see him ever. He's even mentioned in the final entry to the franchise, but not shown. He's an off-screen presence. He really is the Maris of the Prep and Landing universe. Yeah, enter Lanny. He's the new rookie that Wayne has to train, and Wayne he's upset he didn't get that promotion, so he decides he's gonna slack off during this mission. As a result, they haven't properly prepared the house. Something interesting happens. I will say that. He watches Mickey's Christmas Carol on the TV while he's slacking off, Wayne. And I was like, oh, I remember that. Nice little Easter egg there. Nice little in-joke. Can I turn that on instead?
Yeah, it's like, I like that. I like that one. Wait, he hates it? And he quickly changed the channel? Okay.
Yeah,
they're getting a little too meta there.
In fairness, I'll say then the actual interesting concept is, frostbite, Michael. You know what happened?
This is totally not Tinsel.
This is totally not Tinsel. Really not Tinsel. They talk about things being Tinsel a lot. I'll give you the full count on how many times it was said near the end. It's not, ridiculously high or anything, but I took note of it anyway, so you're going to hear it, because I didn't do that work for nothing. The problem is, one of the things the Prep and Landing elves have to do is they have to track if there are creatures stirring, and they have a little doohickey. They have a little gadget that'll say if there is one.
It's like a gingerbread, but it's like a phone.
Yeah, it's like a phone, because they're cool elves, Michael! They're cool elves! But, since they were slacking, and there was also a rookie, one veteran slacked, and one rookie didn't know what he was doing. A kid sees an elf.
No.
Timmy Turwelp, whatever.
Not Timmy.
He's an excited little boy. And he sees Wayne. And not only does he see Wayne, he takes pictures. He takes pictures of Wayne. You better be glad this kid didn't have a Twitter account, because the whole world would have been exposed very quickly. I honestly, I have to wonder what Prep and Landing would be like just even a few years later, with the sheer dominance of social media and all kids having it. It must be a disaster. I don't know what that's probably why we haven't seen any specials in so long. The division got shut down. They were found out. Also in Toy Story, if a kid saw a toy being alive, it'd be a big deal, right? Or like in Monsters Inc., if like, you know, a kid like came into the monster world or whatever, it's a big deal.
They made a whole movie about it.
Yeah. And in Toy Story, like, that's definitely not the focus of the movie. But when they scare Sid, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. In this special, what happens when the kid discovers that elves exist, Michael?
Oh no, Christmas is canceled for this kid.
Yeah. So it's kind of dealt with rather quickly, because I thought it was like an existential threat at first. Like, oh, they can't know about our world. But that doesn't seem to matter. They just, like, put him to sleep and, like, lay him in bed. And they try to have this really emotional moment where he's like, oh, this will be the best. The kid's, like, muttering in his sleep. And he speaks very audibly in his sleep. I think he's faking it, honestly. He says, this will be the best Christmas ever. Oh, thanks, Wayne. Totally not earned. They didn't spend any time together. Everything about this is rushed. It's not spending the proper amount of time to develop any of the emotional relationships it aims to develop. Obviously, the whole point of this is supposed to be that Wayne will come to like Lanny over the course of it, but I don't even really feel that relationship. I'm not tracking it a ton. A good port. I mean, Wayne like slacks off. He like kind of leaves and does his own thing. There's so precious little time, especially because they don't even unite until right before the first ad break. So even once they're together, they aren't really spending all that time actually together. So it just doesn't, whatever. So yeah, it's then, there's a snowstorm, and since the house hasn't been fully prepared yet, he's told to cancel the landing. This hasn't happened ever before, apparently. But they gotta fix it. They They can't let the rerouting occur. This one kid, it will be. And look, I'm not trying to say that those aren't high enough stakes. If it's done well and if you care about this kid, then they are high enough stakes. But I don't. I don't care about anything that's happening in this special. Sorry. So they then do they work together to land Santa safely on Timmy's roof. And the whole landing scene in isolation, it's definitely, I mean, it's done well visually, and the editing and the Carol the Bells that I mentioned before. It's exciting. So, I mean, it's a well conceived and well delivered sequence. It's just I wish I was invested in the characters. I really wish I was, because that's the aspect that like has potential and feels like it could be classic, or at least a fun, fresh, exciting spin. About that promotion. What happens with the promotion, Michael?
He gets the promotion.
He does! Let's go! But
he declines the promotion.
He declines the promotion. Why would he decline the promotion, Michael?
Because after this experience, he relearned that kids are important on Christmas, and that he needs to help the kids on Christmas because he has the magic back. And nothing else that any of the other elves do helps Christmas, apparently.
Exactly. Yeah, he gets the promotion. I don't think they even explicitly lay out what the promotion is until the end. At the very end, he goes like, "Oh yeah, I got offered a promotion. It's for like what the naughty nice list."
Yeah, head of the nice list.
The head of the nice list. Sorry, the head
Something
of the nice
like
list. But he's like, no. So there wasn't even a specific promotion that he was striving for, which just shows how like generic office that the goal was. It's just a promotion until that one line at the very end. After all is said and done, it's way too late. And then he goes, no, but I turned it down. I'm more of a prep and landing guy. And as if to suggest, and the visuals suggest, it's because, oh, well, he likes them being able to help the kids, but wouldn't doing the nice list thing also be like, I mean, I guess it's less hands-on of an approach, but also when you do prep and landing, like, this was an anomaly. Like, you're not supposed to really interact with the kids. Like, this went wrong. So unless you want to do that every time and make it go wrong, then I really don't know what to tell you. So that's the end of the first prep and landing. And yeah, they're going to continue, Wayne and Lanny are going to continue working together. Isn't that exciting? Next up is actually, and I wasn't sure on this, but I'm just gonna go with Operation Secret Santa next. I know that Tiny's Big Adventure technically was released online the next day on December 9th, but we watched it third. So we're going to first talk about Operation Secret Santa, which aired on December 7th, 2010. And it's a short film. It's not 22 minutes, TV length. This is not. And a very interesting thing about this short is where you can watch it. This one's actually not on Disney Plus, at least not yet. Because this Prep and Landing short is currently hidden on Netflix. Now, what do I mean hidden on Netflix? Like, what? Like if you search it up, you won't find it? No. If you type in Prep and you're not gonna find a listing that says Prep and Landing Operation Secret Santa. What you will find is Walt Disney Animation Studio Short Films Collection, which is, they put out like a Blu-ray of short films that Walt Disney Animation had done, and it has a bunch of then different shorts, like there's the Tangled short and the Frozen Fever short and all of that good stuff. But also included is Operation Secret Santa. It's like a little stocking stuffer on Netflix. You just find you're surprised to see it. And it even has a little intro from the writers, directors, and the producer. And perhaps the most interesting thing throughout any of these is this little intro, because it's in this intro that we discover that McGee, who I briefly mentioned, who's that like head elf.
She likes coffee. She drinks coffee.
She likes coffee, and she's very high energy. She has anxiety. She gets stressed out when things look like they're not going well. So I related to her the most, mostly because I just didn't latch on to any of the other characters ever. But McGee is inspired by producer Dorothy McKim, who's sitting in between the two writer-directors in this intro. And it's just funny because then all of a sudden that character really makes sense. Because you realize, that's how they see their producer. Like, always trying to keep everyone on track, looping people together, being nervous so they won't meet their deadlines or their quotas or whatever, all that. So then they just made her into this character. And that's, like, cute and funny and really humanized the people that made this a lot more than any of the characters in them. Even though she's literally a humanization. I guess that's why I like her, because she's a literal humanization of a real person. But anywho, what happens in Operation Secret Santa, Michael? I'd like you to talk to me about this one.
So, they get an operation from Mrs. Claus. Now, shh! Don't yell, Brian. I know you're excited about the revelation that Mrs. Claus is in the special. But she gives them the mission to...
Mrs. Claus!
Shh! You don't want everyone to know.
Sorry. I don't want any children to be stirring.
Here, I'll give her a code name. Code Betty White. There we go.
Yes, voiced by Betty White!
And then she gives them the mission to go and find a little box that Santa has hidden in his hidden workshop. So there's like 2 layers of hidden there.
Yeah, that was weird, but anyway.
And so they go down into Santa's secret workshop to find this little Pandora's box looking thing with a mystery thing inside.
Mrs. Claus puts them on this mission.
Yes.
We also do not see her face, so it's keeping in the tradition, the original.
Yes. Yeah. Then they do like their little spy hijinks. They flip around. They use their grappling hook.
Santa has his afternoon nap.
Yeah, they had to do it in like 15 minutes or less.
Yep. It's kind of a meta commentary on how little time that they have, like, in the short.
Yeah.
Not really.
And that all of a sudden it had to come out right before Christmas. So they had 15 minutes to make it.
Yeah.
Anyway, they do the Indiana Jones, like, swapping out the box with another Christmas present. And then their
never seen that parodied.
On their way back, they the time's almost out.
Agent P.
So instead of running out of the room when you're already done with the event, you stop, you turn around, you get a gear, you throw it at the clock, and you hit the second hand back just a few seconds. Just like 3 seconds, it felt like. So he hit it back slowly so he could turn around and escape. Which to me just felt like overkill, because I was like, dude, if you didn't turn around and do all of that nonsense, you could have gotten out.
He also could have done that way. If the only thing that was actually waking Santa up was that clock, you should get in, destroy the clock, and do your stuff.
Yeah.
Then it's a much easier mission. But I guess they didn't want to destroy the clock. I understand.
I guess they
wanna
wanted
destroy
to
Santa's
keep the
problem.
tension. So
Yeah.
they go to Mrs. Claus. They give her the box. What's in the box?
Mhm.
What's in the box? She opens the box.
What's in the box?
And they're excited, and they're on the edge of their seat. And then we cut to a scene of her giving her gift to Santa. And what was in the box? The last piece of something that Mrs. Claus wanted
And
to
wait, if I may.
Santa.
If I may.
If you may. It's not May, it's December.
Sorry. Well, actually, when did this come out? Let me check. Operation Secret Santa. Okay, it did come out in December. On December 7th, 2010. But anywho, it's that wheel piece tucked away. And it's been tucked away for a long time. And Mrs. Claus, she's finally found the rest of it. And while we were watching it, with Michael as my witness, I said, oh, what, is this the first toy he's ever made? And as if on cue, right after I said that, Santa said, the first toy I ever made.
It was very funny.
And they all go, oh.
Yeah, they all go, oh.
Yeah.
And then the short ends, I think.
And then that's it. But here's the thing. We were making fun of that. It's definitely an improvement, I have to say.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Not just because it's shorter. That helps. But also the fact that it feels like this time they knew, they had more of a sense of how much time they had to work with, and they don't overstuff this stocking. It's a clear mission. There isn't exactly like a personal character arc for the elves this time, which honestly is fine because I really haven't liked any of them. Spoilers, even going forward. But this little premise of, oh, Mrs. Claus puts them on a mission, and we don't know exactly what it's gonna turn out to be necessarily. Well, then eventually I figured it out, but still, like, it's cool. Like, it's a nice short. Like, the mission is clearly the set piece. It's not just like there's a complication that suddenly makes it interesting. The whole mission, it seems like it's this impossible mission of like you have to like break into Santa's office. It's a really secure location. And it also has the best gag, easily, in the entire franchise, when there's a moment when they're trying to do the mission, and they're looking at the clock. Specifically, Lanny is looking at the clock, and the clock jumps ahead 5 minutes, and suddenly Santa awakens, and it's like, what? You're fired! Get out of here! Like, huge overreaction, and it's a nightmare, and then we cut out of it, but it was very funny, because it kind of woke me up, because especially when you watch all of these in a row, you kind of are like, alright, I get it, it's the spy shtick, got it. It is fast-paced, and you could go along with it. Honestly, it works best if you're just sort of going along with, well, it went by fast, so I guess it was good, right? But that was a moment when it just kind of, suddenly, I felt very alert. I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. That's funny. I like that gag.
Me too.
Yeah.
I laughed.
No, it's funny. And there is a little bit of an emotional component, because Lanny is very worried about this mission, and Wayne tells him the immortal advice. You see this, I'm sure, every time you go to Disney, you see someone with a t-shirt with this catchphrase. When we worry, we put it in the hat. Right, Michael?
Then you put on the hat.
I was worried you wouldn't respond, and I put my worry in the hat.
Your worry's gone.
Okay. So, by the way, the Tinsel count is up to 3 currently. They said it twice in the original special, and they said it once here. As far as I know. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to check. So, it may be checking it twice, but I'm not checking the Tinsel. Next, or rather, I guess, technically before, we have the original short film, Tiny's Big Adventure, Michael.
We all remember Tiny.
You know how we said the last one was a short? It was maybe like, I don't know, like 7 minutes or something like that?
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right.
Tiny's Big Adventure. Well, it's tiny.
Let's just say it's not a long adventure.
I'm not even necessarily sure if we watched the whole thing, because we don't have the DVD or Blu-ray with which it was released, but we found it. It was just on Disney.com, and it was 40 seconds, at least from what we watched. The way it cut off seemed to imply that maybe there would have been a little bit more after, but it's a very... I've seen conflicting reports. Some say it's a minute, some say it's 2 minutes. It's just, you know how there was that character, Tiny, that we didn't mention at all because they were completely unmemorable? They got a spin-off short. It's just a little tiny elf that you also don't see his face. You just see, like, the little hat, like, bobbing up and down or whatever. I do like that. That's cute. But this just really proves how fast everything went by in that original special, because you don't even take in Tiny. And, I don't know, what did he even have to do? He had to get a thing that was up high.
I think...
And it didn't go very well.
What was her name? She wanted him to make some cookies or get the ingredients so she could make cookies. Because it was like cinnamon, I think, that was at the top. Or it was like coffee creamer or something like that. And he needed to get that ingredient.
He's McGee's assistant. Let's make it very clear.
Yes. He needed to get that ingredient. He used a broom to try and kick it off. He ended up... Well, let's just say hijinks ensue.
Hijinks really do ensue. It's a whole Rube Goldbergian sequence of events. And by Rube Goldbergian sequence of events, I mean there are shelves that are kind of organized in such a way that it feels like it's doomed to fail. It's not like kind of like super unpredictable things happening. It's not like an ambitious shot or anything. It's a static shot. Some things are then like kind of falling. Something hits another thing. Something hits another thing. And then the thing that then he was trying to get, because it was to make the pot of coffee, and it falls on him and lands on him, and then it abruptly cut off. Very abruptly, I must say.
It was so abrupt. We're not sure if we watched the full thing, but it was so abrupt that I thought it was hilarious.
Honestly, if we recommend any of these, technically, like, look, Operation Secret Santa is technically the best of the bunch, but in terms of if I had to recommend you to watch only one of these, I would just say watch this.
Watch the 40-second one.
Because what's so funny is not only does it cut off, it then cuts immediately to the now available on Disney Blu-ray combo pack. As if to suggest, this was really enticing. You enjoyed this, didn't you? It's now available. You can own this. And more from the Prep and Lanning universe. Alright. That's way too much about Tiny's Big Adventure. Moving on. It's not even a real thing. Look, whatever. It's technically... There's 4... Look. It counts. It counts. Then, last. We have Prep and Landing. Naughty versus nice.
This is what it's all building up to.
This is the Avengers Endgame of Prep and Landing. In the sense that it absolutely isn't. Because they didn't plan for this to be the last one. It just kind of ended up that way. So this one aired on December 5th, 2011. It also, for a brief period of time, it replaced Muppet Vision, I guess, as like a seasonal movie that they showed in Disneyland, which strikes me as very odd, because you're clearly, like, you're walking into the Muppet Theater, everything is Muppet themed, you see Kermit and Piggy, like, all of the stuff, and then you walk in and then you watch this, I guess, this TV special. I don't know, do they do that often? I thought they had
I would
another
assume
dedicated theater.
that they do similar things often enough.
Yeah. It couldn't have been the only time. But anywho. Now, finally, they do, once again, they do the Lanny and Wayne in. Which is great. Lanny and Wayne, the Christmas Elves in. Which they haven't done. They didn't do that for the other short. And they definitely didn't do it for Tiny's Big Adventure, because Lanny... because Lanny and Wayne weren't in it. So, they would have been lying.
Just because I don't want to talk about naughty versus nice.
Yeah.
So it's like Tiny's Big Adventure, let's go.
Yeah. So probably the reason, you theorize that the reason that they didn't show the Lanny and Wayne for the other short is because they needed every precious second. But this, they have some time. And this one, it feels long. If the other one, the problem was that it was too rushed, this one feels bloated and also doesn't properly explore its ideas. But it starts basically the same way, essentially. They're playing a classic Christmas song, there's establishing shots, and then you go to the chimney, and then this time they even more announce these aren't your grandpa's elves, because there's not just an abrupt cutoff of the song, there's a record scratch, okay? And then the elves come in, and here's the thing that I would say, Michael.
What's the thing that you would say?
What I would say is, genuinely, I really didn't have much of a memory of this, other than there was like a new brother character, which we'll get to. But while watching the first special, I was thinking to myself, it's a wasted opportunity with the kid. It would be much cooler because if you're having him like take a picture anyway, like I feel like it'd be cool if there was a kid who like actually was like going really out of his way to try to like get evidence or trap the elves or something. So I got like I wouldn't say I got really excited when I saw this happening, but I got, relatively speaking, really excited during our prep and landing viewing experience when I see this kid, a naughty kid that the elves that are shown in the beginning had not prepared for, that used this little robot dog.
They didn't prepare for
and
them?
Steals that fruitcake looking thing, but it's not fruitcake. It's fruitcake's a running gag in this, but it's not actual fruitcake. It's an important gizmo. Also, side note, the elves detect some stuff in the house that suggests why you're a naughty kid, and one of the things really stuck out to us.
Yeah, it was that this kid had lower grades.
There were bad grades.
So, obviously that means that they're a terrible person.
Yeah. That doesn't mean... What? They have bad grades? So, like, are you saying they're not trying in school, or... Really? Do you understand how damaging that is, subconsciously, for a child to see this and just casually... It's not like a point of the special at all. It just kind of is shown very matter-of-factly. Like, oh, well, bad grades. It's like The Good Place, if they didn't explore how the point values are perhaps not great. And maybe wrong. It's just saying, oh yeah, well, bad grades, you're naughty if you get bad grades. Doesn't matter why. Even if you really try.
Yeah, obviously.
If you get bad grades, whatever. But this naughty kid, do you remember the name of the naughty kid? Or their username, so to speak?
Code word Mandalorian. I can't remember their username. I just remember that there was a leak joke in it.
Yes, it was Jingle Smell 1337. You were very excited by the leak joke.
Because I was surprised about it. That doesn't seem like... Not only does that not seem like something that would be in a Disney thing, but it kind of feels out of place.
Can you explain that to the viewers at home who may not know what you're talking about?
If you're a gamer, you would get it.
Is that all the explanation you're going to give?
Okay, so I needed to buy myself time to look it up.
Okay.
Leet means elite. The term leet is widely used online in gaming circles with the meaning elite.
Cool. Nice. All right.
It means you're good at the game. You're extremely skilled at gaming or computing, or more generally, awesome, according to dictionary.com.
We get the kid from the first one, Timmy Turwelp. He gets a quick cameo in a little montage part of this. He's on the nice list again. That was cute. It was nice to see him again. But then finally, it feels like it takes a while to introduce.
I mean, it feels like it takes a while to do anything in this.
It takes a while to get to Wayne and Lanny in this. I feel like it's, I don't know.
I feel like it's taking us a while to talk about it.
It is Michael, there's a lot to cover here. There's a lot. We're doing 4 films.
Well, no, I just meant like in terms of this specific short. But anyway, continue.
Actually, I'm pulling it up on Disney Plus now. I want to see exactly the minute that they show up. Yeah, okay, it's like 3.5 minutes in. But keep in mind, you only have 22 minutes to tell the story. So, it doesn't matter if there's opening voiceover or opening narration off screen. Like, it feels like it takes a little while. Whatever, who cares? It doesn't. That's nitpicking compared to the real problems. This is Wayne. He's gonna buy a new car. He's shopping for a new car, and he said that's all the family he needs.
That car's really turbo.
And that car is really turbo. Yet another Wreck-It Ralph
Turbo-tastic, yeah.
piece of foreshadowing, unintentionally so. I would assume, because turbo's a common word. But here's the thing: they're put on this mission to deal with the new problem, because when there was that naughty kid, if you remember, do you remember that naughty kid that we were just talking about that stole that fruitcake that wasn't really fruitcake? Well, they need to recover that classified North Pole technology from this computer hacking naughty kid, Michael. And here's the problem. The big guy, Santa, all this stuff about how, like, he really, he respects Wayne, he trusts him, and all this stuff. He was going to give him the promotion, whatever. You need a naughty field expert on this one. You just need it. Wayne's got to learn another lesson. Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't know how to take care of this kid,
Yeah.
Without an expert.
So, right. What exactly makes for a naughty field expert? I'm not sure. They just seem to be more...
They give Cole a lot.
They give Cole a lot. They say, like, do better next time, or whatever. There's, like, a little paper slip that they put with it.
So I don't know why you were laughing. That's what his job is. I'm sure he's very skilled and professional and proud of that job. He probably got a promotion to the job that he has that we saw.
They're willing to get their hands dirty. And by get their hands dirty, I mean do the exact same job, except give Cole instead. Which is probably easier. Because why are they even... You know what? Hold on just a second. We saw Cole Elves in the beginning, and they're, like, scanning everything to show... Is that just, like, a double check to make sure that they are indeed naughty? Because if they're showing up there, and then the kid isn't naughty, what are they going to do? They only have Cole. I assume that's what makes them Cole Elves.
That's when they get a nice elf to come by. I'm sure it's very...
But then that's really wasting time.
No.
Michael, they really went out of their way to show in the first special how time-sensitive all of this is.
Yes, they did.
So, I just think that's ridiculous. But anyway, the story becomes another story in which Wayne has to deal with another partner that he has conflict with because he's a petty, unlikable character that we don't like to watch. And this time, it's Noel. And here's the thing. Noel is Wayne's little brother, even though he is big in size. Much like Tiny's Big Adventure, we got Wayne's big little brother. And he was also Wayne's first partner, because what they would do is they would dress up when they were kids. However many, 200 years ago, or whoever, who cares? They dressed up as Captain Avalanche and Snowball from a comic that I guess is popular in the North Pole, I guess? Sure. And they also really wanted to get this sled that they wanted, but it was a little sled toy.
At the Disney investors meeting, they just announced a theatrical version of Avalanche called Avalanche. It's going to be in theaters in 2 years. We'll finally get to understand the in-universe excitement over Avalanche and Snowball.
Yeah. Can't wait for Avalanche. Did you hear that Robert Downey Jr. is playing Captain Avalanche?
Yeah, I did. I think it's pretty great. It's like a real hero,
Right. Moving on. So, Peterson is the one that got that last sled. Remember Peterson from the last movie? Again, still off screen, but he got that last sled.
Don't worry, we'll meet Peterson one day, hopefully.
We'll meet him one day. They were really building him up, but we never met him.
It's world building.
There's some also in this little flashback where they talk about them being kids, there's a brief bit of the retro 2D animation.
Yeah, the 2D animation in that shot looked amazing. It was so fluid and pretty, and the character designs were nice, and everything about it. I was like, oh my goodness, that's just so appealing.
It was just really cool to see that style done in such like a fluid, modern way without compromising any of the charm of it. I thought that was awesome. Not to say, again, the CG animation is always definitely very impressive and high budget in these, but it was just cool. I just wasn't expecting it. It's worth mentioning. I guess this is as good a time as any to say, we have a final Tinsel count. I believe that it was said 6 times now. But my favorite, I think, was the last time it was said, in which Lanny says, "This isn't very Tinsel!" So, the best part of this, because I really did not care at all about Wayne's struggles with his brother, the kid and the techie traps for the elves. The best part for sure. And that little song that plays when one of the traps are set off, that it turns on the music player, it gives some energy. right when I was like starting to feel bogged down by the sibling stuff. It was like a different kind of song that was playing. I was like, oh, that's fun. But what really is a big twist is this kid that's a hacker. What can you reveal this twist, Michael?
She's a girl.
She's a girl! And at least they don't, I mean...
They don't linger on it. Like, we made a joke about them doing that, but they don't actually, like, make a big deal out of it. Which was a nice surprise, because honestly, the second I saw it, I was like, oh no, they're gonna be all weirded out. But just like the Lego Movie 2, the second part, it just happened naturally, organically.
Don't you dare compare a masterpiece.
Sorry, I wanted to talk about something good that I enjoy. Okay.
Yeah. But in this case, yes, they don't dwell on it. I was expecting each character to walk in separately and go, "What? It's a girl?" And like it'd be like the real like running gag, and it'd be the new catchphrase that you buy on all the shirts that you see on the shirts in the Disney parks. But no, the only shirt of note here is that Disney princess shirt that she's rocking. It's Grace Goodwin.
Another foreshadowing for Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes, more Wreck-It Ralph 2 foreshadowing, because it's different Disney princesses altogether on that shirt. Snow White, Cinderella, and Rapunzel on her pink sweatshirt. And you had, there was a Mickey plus, and also, very interestingly, a Nessie plus from Ballad of Nessie, which happened to be the short that plays right after the Prep and Landing short in that Disney animated short films compilation we mentioned earlier. The Ballad of Nessie is also from the same creator, so it makes sense why they put that little Easter egg in there. That's really cute. Her goal is she needs to get a password to take herself off the naughty list. That's what she's trying to do, because she's not the naughty one in her family. But you know who is?
Her baby brother.
Her baby brother Gabe is. And because he just keeps, I don't know, crying and taking attention.
Yeah, he's a
baby. It's been 12 months and 2
days. He keeps on crying. Yep. Can you believe that?
He keeps on crying. What a baby.
Terrible baby.
He's literally a baby.
And not a boss baby, just a normal baby.
Which, like, I was like, okay. I was kind of getting into this, like, thing of, like, a genuine troublemaker. But if we're going to go for that, we're doing the obvious parallel to the sibling issues. Like, okay, I see it. I see what you're doing there. Really, all that, Lanny is doing in this is being captured by Grace, and she exposits the problems to him. It's been 12 months and 2 days since her baby brother Gabe was born, and no one has noticed poor Grace since. After which we immediately cut to Noel being like, I need a better vantage point. I'm so shocked that they didn't just have him literally say, hang on, I can't notice her. I need to move. They might as well have. He manages to get the fruitcake. Before it started malfunctioning, when he had the fruitcake in hand, Noel was like, they're going to make me Elf of the Year for this. And Wayne was so upset about that, Michael. His stupid brother? He wishes he never had a brother. Why does Wayne still care about this stuff? Why? Why aren't we past this? Doesn't he just love doing this for the fun of it to help kids? He needs the big pat on the back that he literally, the whole point of the first one is that he didn't need it. I guess he does need it. So he says, I wish I never had a brother. And
he doesn't mean that. Tell me he doesn't mean that.
Look, the faint praise that I can give this was the way that Noel reacted. Because after, I wish I never had a brother, it wasn't played as like a, and like run away and like sad part. It's just like right away Noel's like, I know you didn't mean that. And then it's, well, tell me you didn't mean it, Wayne. Well, tell me you didn't mean it. And we also find out that, you know, that sled that they were really trying to get that they couldn't get?
Yeah, I remember that sled that they were really trying to get that they couldn't get.
Well, Wayne realizes, because Noel gives it to him in that moment. Yeah, Merry Christmas in this moment.
Merry Christmas.
He got that super sled for him after all. I don't know, which also raises the question, when was the last time he saw his own brother? It feels like it's been a long time.
They're busy. They're busy elves.
They're busy elves. Has it been like decades?
They're on a time crunch all year.
I feel like this is something that they should have used. What's his face? I can't. Lanny. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name because he doesn't do anything in this. He just doesn't. Like, they should have used him to be like, hey, you should talk to your family, maybe. This is a concerningly long time that you haven't talked to your own brother. But yeah, whatever. We get the commercial break, and they do that classic thing where a line will be said to cut to commercial, and then they repeat the line, which was one of our biggest laughs. He goes, "As I said, every child on Earth is going on the naughty list," because of the problem with the fruitcake conduct calculator or whatever it's called. But of course, they're able to rewire it. Wayne and Noel attach it to a big antenna in the middle of the city. And in the process, because Grace watches, she kind of walks out as she sees these two little elves that she's never met before arguing and having a familial dispute. She realizes she should love her little brother, I guess. Sure. Why not? Good enough. And then she's more appreciative. She actually doesn't end up being on the naughty list, which I don't know how, like, if she really was naughty all year, I don't know how she got that. It's that last minute reprieve. I guess she followed the Buford method from Phineas and Ferb Christmas Vacation. But yeah, she gets a toy and then gives her brother a hug and wishes him Merry Christmas. And now you may remember briefly that Wayne was really upset that Noel was going to be Elf of the Year because he didn't really respect his brother, and he thought, oh, my brother is going to get it. I deserve that. But in the end, you know what happens, Michael?
He learns it didn't even matter.
No, Wayne and Noel both get Elf of the Year. Because why not?
Good to be honest, I forgot what happened.
This is the worst one. It's the worst one. There was no reason for them both to get Elf of the Year. It wasn't even like... Why? Like, I can't believe this is already making me use the original Prep and Landing as a positive comparison. Like, it's such a cookie cutter arc, a Christmas cookie cutter arc of, oh, he doesn't actually need that thing. Like, he doesn't need that surface level celebratory thing. He loves it for the work. He loves it to help the kids. But no, he gets the title. He shares it with his brother, yes. And he's comfortable sharing it with his brother, but he still gets the title. And you know who doesn't get anything? Lanny. I guess he didn't really help very much, so fair enough. But still, it feels a little weird. Like, I thought the whole thing is that it's Wayne and Lanny's time.
Lanny was not in Christmas.
But Lanny was in it. They said he was in it.
But he wasn't, in it. He was there.
So, there was one Checking It Twice mention in the original special. So
to Brian's excitement.
To my very vocal excitement. So now we're up to... The Checking It Twice counter is up to 6. So at least one of these Prep and Landings gave us that. And now it's time. Remember that thing eons ago that I said I was going to reveal? Because there hasn't been a 5th installment announced. But we do have something very close to that. Well, not very close to that. Kind of very close to that, actually.
Spit it out, man.
It is the closest that you're ever going to get to it.
I'm too excited about potential Prep and Landing content. What is it? I'm on the edge of my seat.
So, Michael.
Yes?
The people that spearhead the Prep and Landing franchise.
Yes?
We all know who they are.
We all know. Yeah, you don't even need to mention them. Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's Kevin Dieters, I don't know, and Stevie Wormer Skelton, the writer-directors that made their producer into a character.
Their little short, or their little, recording in front of the second short. It's they seem like pretty chill people to be around.
Yeah, no, I like them. I like them better than any of the characters. So thumbs up from me on them. But they have not gotten to make a 5th Prep and Landing film. It has not materialized yet.
Bad news. But
they did get to make something else. They did get to make something else.
What else did they make, Brian?
What they got to do is, it wasn't too far off, because it was still Walt Disney Animation Studios. And it was still in CG. And it was even still holiday themed.
I have my guess. Do you, audience?
What is your guess, Michael?
My guess.
What did they go on to do?
My guess is that they made Olaf's Frozen Adventure.
Absolutely right, Michael.
Oh,
Directed
amazing.
by both of them, who previously directed the holiday-themed Prep and Landing shorts, and there's even the fruitcake. The fruitcake is also a gag in that, if you remember. At one point, we'll have to cover it. But it is not officially Prep and Landing related. If it was, then that would make Frozen officially a successor to Prep and Landing. And I will absolutely not call it that, ever. So, we will not be including Olaf's Frozen Adventure in this Prep and Landing marathon. But, there you go. That's the closest that they've gotten to it. So, there you have it. Any other thoughts on the Prep and Landing saga, Michael?
I have two thoughts. One, I keep forgetting everything that happened in them. Like, even as we talk about it, I'm like, which one was that? Oh, yeah, that was the last one. And also, two, I can't believe we just spent well over an hour discussing Prep and Landing. Prep, Ampersand, Landing.
We had to make it worth our while. We had to have an in-depth discussion. I'll sometimes say this as a joke, but genuinely I mean it this time. If we don't cover it, no one else will. No one else will. No one seems to... I haven't seen any, like, modern retrospective look at it. Maybe I've missed it from, like, anyone in the animation community on YouTube.
The day before this goes up, Sophrillis is going to talk about it.
Oh! Sophrillis! Let's steal our thunder for Prep and Landing. Our baby. That's our baby. But, anyway, yeah. So, listen. As Phineas said, they can't all be fun. But I hope you still had fun listening to us go through Prep and Landing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen any of them yourself. If you haven't, I wouldn't actually recommend any of them other than Tiny's as a joke.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, they can't all be fun. But Tiny's Big Adventure is a big amount of fun.
Right. I mean, I could put it in the description, right? It's on Disney.com.
Yeah. So, I mean, do it. It's a little link.
Yeah.
Watch it.
I'll put it in the description. Yeah. Go ahead. Watch Tiny. It's 40 seconds. What else are you doing? If you've listened this long, you have an extra 40 seconds. It's a sunk cost at this point. But anyway, yeah. Michael. Now that we've made it through the Prep and Landing saga, you gotta tell the viewers what's coming next.
Yeah, so after we went through all 4 Prep and Landings, and even a little brief Olaf's Frozen Adventure mention, I know that you are on the edge of your seat, wondering, what is the next episode of Checking It Twice? Well, unfortunately, the next episode of Checking It Twice is a lot like the box that Mrs. Claus sent Lenny and Landon on their adventure.
Lenny and Landon.
Because we don't actually know what was in the box until they open it later on. So I think that the next episode, you won't know what's in it until it's on YouTube. Period. Yeah. Ampersand. Period again.
Very bold.
Yeah.
Very. Are you pulling up Palm Springs on me, Michael? With that punctuation?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll see if anyone gets that joke. Anywho.
Justin will.
If you're still listening at this point, we're really not trying to cater to any human being. So, thank you.
It's over. What are you doing? Leave the theater.
Yeah, come on. It's over. Go home. Yeah. No, if you made it to the end, not only do you get a promotion, but you're Elf of the Year now. Comment below that you got a promotion and you're Elf of the Year. Because you earned it, my friend. And so did we, for going through the Prep and Landing saga. I have nothing else to say. I am empty.
I'm excited for good Christmas specials again.
Well, now let's not get too ahead of ourselves. You never know what's going to... Tomorrow will be better, don't worry. Next episode will be better.
Thank goodness.
It'll be a better thing.
Oh, Tinsel. That makes me so happy.
We'll cover a better thing next time. Oh, Tinsel! Tinsel!
Tinsel.
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 You're very tinsel if you listen this long. Take that however you will.